Hey, Kyle.
What's up, buddy?
We're already live.
Fantastic. So don't say anything horrible. I love it. Appreciate it. That was, and it was I do appreciate the immediate heads up too, though. I have a tendency to not say horrible things about people, but I mean, who knows, man? Maybe I was just going to start. Who knows? Maybe I was going to target, Bella. Bella's coming in tomorrow, so maybe I was going to start talking bad about Bella.
You'd be hard pressed to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's possible. Is the problem?
I mean, you could make some stuff up, and I mean, you can make it sound bad. But
listen, dude, you've heard me talk. I can make anything up. Admittedly, I was sitting on the plane today, and I got to talking to a lady that was flying back from Alaska, and she was telling me about how her and her friends were on a hike, and they were hoping they saw like an elk or a bear. Which I was like, dude, you're on a hike and you're hoping you see a bear? No thanks. But she saw like some prints, and she thought they were dog prints. Her friend thought they were bear prints. And so I basically
very different experiences for those two people.
Very different. I explained to her though how the next time that she says this story, it needs to be that they were being stalked by a bear, and she saw the prints, and she was able to ward off the stalking bear because she knew it was there. So I can make up anything.
I think that depending on my mood, I would either be really happy or really pissed to draw an airplane seat next to you.
And okay, and admittedly, I usually am very like, reserved on planes. But she was, and here's she lives here in Fort Wayne. She was coming back to Fort Wayne for home, and she was 2 or 3 Bloody Marys in, from what she told me.
Okay.
So she was talkative. I was talkative. Hey man, let's party.
Well, that's what we're gonna do this weekend. You and I.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Are you kidding me? Dude, you know how excited I've been for basically just a whole weekend of you having to listen to me and not being able to get up and walk away?
Well, I mean, I haven't known to have a small bladder, so I might whip that excuse out a couple times.
Hey, that's okay, dude. That's okay.
You're like, right now you're texting Jessica, put us close to the bathroom. Brian can't leave for 2
the bathroom. Oh, I love it, dude.
So we're here tonight to preview the Masters Fitness Championship. Kyle Shipp, quite frankly, probably not a lot of people know who you are. Why don't you tell us who you are?
Well, man, I do media for MFC, and more specifically, I'm going to be doing the broadcast. So you'll be hearing both Brian and I on the broadcast. I've got a background in competition, and then quickly decided that I really liked tacos and beer. But I got a couple of kiddos, and I do broadcasting for a small college, University of Mary Hardin Baylor, the best small college in all of Texas. No other ones even come close.
You know that was a college rival of mine, right?
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Brian went to Concordia, and so our schools were big rivals. We didn't play the same sports. I was baseball, he was soccer. But no, it was just so that's what I do. I work with college students in my real job, I guess, if you could call it that.
Turn off your notifications, Mr. Popular.
Me? I don't have notifications on.
Oh, was that me?
Dude, are you accusing me and it was you? Oh man,
I don't think it was me.
Dude, literally, I don't have notifications on.
It was me. You know what it is? It's WhatsApp. WhatsApp doesn't respond normally to the silencing of notifications. You have to close the application. So that was my fault, and I blamed you.
Oh yeah. So okay, so you guys are seeing my all of my stuff is either me hanging out with my college.
This is my favorite one right here.
It's me just posting wild stuff. Oh, dude. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. So we always do. So we're big in food. Okay, I'm from Texas. HGR CBD. I don't know if I'm supposed to answer these when they pop up. It's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. As some call it, the center of the universe. Easiest place in the world to get to. Don't worry about it. But no, so we always feed our college students because they're college students and they like to come to our house, have a home cooked meal. Oh yeah, dude. And so like the pictures that my wife will post and send me are just stacks of waffles, dude. When we feed the basketball teams that go to the school, like you're talking about like industrial size pots. I was so mad they took that picture. Like I was mad.
This is such a great picture of you.
No, it's not such a great look. Anything that takes a picture of me from the side now is a horrible picture. Okay. So yeah,
you're in your element there.
I am in my element. I call myself a professional talker.
You can't tell me this is a bad picture.
Dude, no, I love that was a great picture. I was excited for that. Okay, here's the story behind that picture. So that was our first time in LA. Never been to LA before. It was first time in LA. We were stuck in LA traffic and we have been stuck
last week.
Oh, dude, we were going like 10 miles and it took us an hour and a half. Okay. And so I told my wife, I need you to take a picture of us being stuck in traffic. And she's like, why? I was like, this is part of I love the experience of it. Like when I go to London, I want it to be rainy and nasty. I don't want it to be sunny. When I go to LA, I want to get stuck in traffic at least once. I didn't love it all the time, but at least once.
Well, I had one last week. So, hey, this is Kyle.
Yeah, that's me, man. So, I kind of just talk for a living.
Here you are re-promoting my show that I advertised at the wrong time.
Heck yeah, dude. Absolutely. That was fantastic. I was wondering. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, which none of you know, because this was a message between me and Brian. So we talked about 8:30. He did on the deal 9 o'clock. And so I was about here. I was 8:28 and I was doing my research for the weekend. And I was like, I wonder if it's actually at 9. And so I sent him a message like, hey, when do you want me to hop on? And I said, the graphic said 9. You told me 8:30. And so his only response was, oh, I messed that up. He didn't tell me what time to hop on still. So I was like, when do you want me to hop on? He's like, oh, hop on now. And so I had no idea we would be live as soon as we popped up. But hey, there we go.
I didn't know if I messed it up or if someone else messed it up. So I checked to make sure, and it was only me who screwed it up and only on the Instagram.
Heck yeah, man.
But it's all good.
Oh yeah, that's the best way to do it.
So Masters Fitness Championship, like the Pit Team Throwdown, like the Masters Legend event, were born out of the COVID year where the age group athletes did not get to compete at the CrossFit Games. I think everyone understands why that was the case. And then there were groups of people in each of those 3 instances who said, no, we're going to find a way to make it happen. Just like the CrossFit Games found a way to make it possible for the elite top 5 to go to the California and do something that year. Those entities popped up and said, we're going to take ownership. We're going to take responsibility for this and give our communities something that is a capstone on the season. Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's very fair to say. I think the only thing that I would add to it is that on top of the 2020 thing, MFC, I'll say MFC specifically, really the idea started in 2019, though, whenever CrossFit contracted the Masters divisions down to 10 from 20. And then also got rid of the broadcasts that were individually focused on the Masters as well. I know the MFC guys, the original guys, had several friends that were going to be competing that they weren't really going to get to watch unless they were there in person. So it initially started kind of as maybe a media thing, a way to give media or to give more media to Masters. And then as 2020 rolled around, they were like, well, if we aren't going to have anything, let's try and have something.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. That's a good addition there because both of those things are, the Masters divisions of the games have been this roller coaster in terms of sometimes there's 20 athletes, sometimes there's 10, sometimes there's a full production broadcast, sometimes there's basically nothing. And I think that, both of those groups, the Legends and the MFC guys, were interested in saying, well, let's get, this is a really impressive group of people, hardworking, committed, and it's a big portion of our community. Let's make something that is going to make sure that they always get the kind of opportunities that they deserve. And that can be kind of like a blanket statement. And then over the last couple of years, I would say, you can tell me if I'm wrong about this too, I would say that there's been a little bit of a rivalry between the Legends and the MFC. There's some athletes that have been very loyal to one or the other. There's some athletes that have kind of flitted between the two. There's some athletes that have done both. And obviously this year, the Legends got incorporated into the game season, and through that, we're able to provide a live stream that I would say was kind of in the middle. It wasn't the full robust coverage that they had back in the day, but it was definitely better than some of the more recent stuff that the Masters have got at the games. And they were able to expand the competition fields to sizes that were, I still am not sure it was a perfect size for every division, but they were more reflective of the participation by each division, teenagers and Masters. Or teenagers did the same thing in the 15 throwdown, but the Masters divisions, because there were years where there was a division, let's just say 35 to 39 men, that had 36,000 people register for the Open. And there was another division, let's say 55 to 59 men, that had 3,000 people. So they had 10% of the total participants, and both divisions got 10 spots at the games. And the Legends this year gave an opportunity for kind of a tiered system, 40, 30, 20, 10 maybe at the highest or the oldest levels. I like to say the highest level of master.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's the deal? Because you're not an old master. You're like a higher degree of master. You know, that's the thing. When they added the 35 to 39, you know, I was 36 when they added the 35 to 39 division. Oh yeah, man. And so that became the first degree master. And so man, if you're in the 50 to 54, what, you're like a fourth degree master. I mean, that sounds so much better. It sounds like karate. You got a fourth degree black belt.
So that's a little bit of the backstory. As far as I'm concerned, I've been at the MFC the last 2 years. I have a history of showing up one day late. This year I'll be there for the totality of it.
Yeah, you better be there for the totality of it. Supposed to be on the broadcast with me, dude.
Well, let's see. The last hurdle is the hurricane that's supposed to be coming through the southeast tomorrow. So
yeah, it's
pending that.
We've had a couple of athletes that have had to bow out because of that hurricane, which is unfortunate, man. Anytime you start getting athletes that have to bow out now is unfortunate, but especially when it's something that's so far out of their control.
Yeah. And so, but you know, I was curious, and I'll ask you to give your thoughts on this. I mean, with the Legends being sucked into the game season this year, and that competition happening at a different time of the year than it did past seasons, it was only about a month ago, and now MFC is happening. Were you guys concerned at all that there wouldn't be the same level of participation and or quality of competitor across all the divisions?
I'll say you guys is an interesting term, because you know how it goes when you have a large organization. You're gonna get a lot of different thoughts. I actually wasn't. I wasn't all that concerned. I wasn't all that concerned because, you know, last year MFC went so well. Had a lot of really good feedback, and I think the feedback not necessarily from like the media standpoint, or really more so than just they were given the opportunity to compete and be treated on the level that they always wanted to. People kept calling it kind of a throwback to regionals, just with everything that kind of went on. And that was for anybody who was around during regionals, that's a huge compliment. So I'll tell you the truth, I wasn't worried. I did have to keep counseling people like, hey, CrossFitters are notorious for signing up literally at the last minute. And I think now, I mean, our numbers aren't, if they're down like super slightly. I think, again, we have almost 500 competitors. So really exciting with that. As far as the quality, I'll be honest, I knew that we probably weren't going to have, some of the champions, people who kind of train for that top podium spot. They usually are a little bit better of taking a little bit of time off. But still has a lot of really great quality. Kind of as I've been doing my prep and looking at stuff, really kind of in awe of the people that are going to be there and the amazing things that kind of stuff in their background, some of the stuff that they've, have accomplished over the course of their career. So, and with the teams too, going to see some people from the teams that were, some of them are well-known names and like a Jen Ryan and a Heather Hippensteel. But then you also, you're still going to have your Lon Allen. Lon was he was at the games, and he's going to be paired up with Ron. And so you've got, Lon and Ron, the two bald-headed beauties. And so, still have a lot of great competitors, and I really think it's going to make for a really cool weekend, even if maybe the initial names that you see aren't necessarily like, oh, that doesn't stand out. I still think that it's going to be a really exciting and high quality weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I was while you were talking there, I was just scrolling through for anyone who's watching. It looks like there's close to 40 total divisions. And they, and one of the things that they've had, in addition to the team competitions, which I think are really cool, I've known some people who've competed in those the last couple of years, is that they have the elite and also the RX division. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously with the two divisions, everybody does the same qualifier, and with the two divisions, just looking for a way, once again, and even before like Legends kind of took over the Masters game side of things, we still had this deal within MFC where we're trying to give everybody who wants to compete and who qualifies to compete, we want to give them all a great experience. And so typically what happens is any competition that's not the games is not going to have 1 through 10 of the games competitors, outside of maybe Wadapalooza. Okay, so you say Wadapalooza in the games, they're going to have 1 through 10 no matter when, no matter what, no matter where. But after that, you're going to get a sprinkling of those.
I love Wadapalooza, but Rogue is the competition you meant to say that meets that criteria.
I did mean to say Rogue. Well, let me say, okay, actually, I didn't mean to say Rogue. Here's why I didn't mean to say Rogue. I'm okay. Keep in mind, do you see the gray? You see, I'm talking about Masters right now. So that's kind of the deal. Until Rogue brings in the Masters, they don't get to show up on the Brian Friend podcast. All right. So
hey, we're here right now. I was wrong. You were right.
So no, and so from a master standpoint, and so, but we see that as the field, I'm going to say extends down, and that's not really to put anybody down that's below there, but it still gives people that maybe wouldn't qualify for, those types of competitions at some of those levels. It still gives them the opportunity. And so, it just a good opportunity both for Elite and RX to try and have an opportunity to do some cool things, but also kind of get an opportunity to do some of the things that maybe you don't get a chance to do at home. For example, this weekend on one of the workouts, the RX weight for a sandbag, and it's a heavy sandbag carry. I think for the
name of the workout,
that Blitz. So for the younger men, it's going to be not Blitz, Omaha. Excuse me, Omaha. It's going to be a 200-pound sandbag for both the RX and the Elite. It kind of makes the sandbag the main piece of that workout. And so this deal is, it's not too often that, you get to do the same weight, a doable weight, I think from, a 30 to 34, 35, 39 perspective. I think
this beauty right here.
It's awful. Look, this is an evil, horrible workout. Because here's the deal. It's 10 minutes and that's all together. So you have 7 minutes to do the second part. And it's going to be a bruiser, because if you go, like you say, okay, I'm going to win part A. If you're going to win part A, you're going to lose part B. I don't know how you couldn't.
Someone's going to prove you wrong on that. And that's why they're on the floor and we're in the booth.
It'll be Travis Flanagan. I already know who's going to prove me wrong. It's going to be Travis Flanagan, like plain and simple. Like, cause, and you're right. 100%, dude. Like that's why they're going to be on the floor. And that's why you and me are going to be Uber Eats and food all throughout the weekend up in the booth.
Until you convince me to go and do one of the workouts.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out which one I'm trying to get you to do. I don't want to make you do. I'm not going to make you do that one, but yeah, like, because last year you did the
easy one.
Did the easy one. Good luck with that, Brian.
Well, it's all relative. Like,
oh yeah, here you go. This is a good one for you, buddy.
I could. Is there anything heavy in here? I mean, this looks terrible, but
50 wall balls right in the middle.
I could do this workout.
Dude, hey, so for in 2020, so the original MFC, so I competed in
the other reason why this is a perfect workout for me is because of the title.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely,
and I'm from Chicago, and
and here's
you want to dig the knife in a little harder.
The only people who get double doink are the Chicagoans, And it's really funny because all the comments about that from Chicago people are like, oh, please just don't talk about our quarterback search. Please don't talk about our head coaching situation. It's hilarious. I love Chicagoans are kind of they're, I know that the Cubs for forever were called the lovable losers. It just kind of feels like Chicago has adopted that. They're like, look, we know we're not great. Please just don't make too much fun of us.
It just it's how I felt about Texas Longhorn football for a long time. Like, there's no reason why there shouldn't be a good Texas football team. There's no reason why there shouldn't be good sports teams in Chicago. And yet here we are.
And yet here we are. Dude, I'm with you on that one, buddy.
Double doink. Let me see if there's a division. 55 plus regular pull-ups, regular wall ball. Sign me up for that.
Oh yeah, man.
Maybe RX of my division. I can do the chest to bars. The 30-pound wall ball looks miserable.
Hey, in the original 2020 MFC, so I competed in that, and there was a chipper, and right in the middle was 50 30-pound wall balls. Oh, you want to talk about just it was atrocious because it was rowing. It was like 50 cows on the row. It was 50 box step overs with a I think it was a 70-pound dumbbell. It wasn't a 50, it was a 70-pound dumbbell, 50 toes to bar, 50 30-pound wall balls, and no, 25 toes to bar. And then you had to go back. Oh, it was atrocious. It hurt so bad. I did threes. Brian.
That's an early candidate for the workout that I will jump in on.
I like it.
Let's see what we got here. I mean, this is a good one for me, if I'm being honest. Shuttle run, toes to bar.
Listen, you don't get to do this workout because this workout is a really good offset to the workout right before it. And in pick 6, so you don't get to do that one without doing something heavy. So
last year I got away with it. I did skiing and crossovers.
And crossovers, yeah, absolutely. Here's the deal. Yeah, last year I didn't really know you, so you kind of were able to get away with that. This year, oh no chance.
Bill Lloyd is in fact competing here. What division is he in? 45 to 49, or is he 50 now?
I'm not sure.
I did see him on the leaderboard, though. Maybe he's younger than that. Maybe he's 40 to 40. I saw him for sure on here. There he is, 40 to 44. My apologies.
Oh, geez. Man, he's trying to build you up in your levels here, dude. He's trying to put you in the 50 to 54.
He's just an online guy. Look at this, second in the qualifier, 19th in person. He probably got injured or withdrew. Mm-hmm. He's pretty good. And the guy from HDR CBD that's commenting there, Carl, he's competed with him before. Shout out HDR CBD, our support.
Ooh. Hey, how about a little product placement there, dude? Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about.
Well, look at the bottom right of our screen. I mean, they're a sponsor for our show and have been this entire season.
Oh, it's amazing.
42
years old. Bam.
I actually had last year at MFC. There's like a bar on top of the hotel that we stay in. Mm-hmm. And I think I was up there getting some food, and Bill was next to me, and we ended up talking a little bit. It was on Sunday after everything had finished up. Mm-hmm. So Bill's a good dude.
Very nice. I'm gonna have to meet Bill then.
So we've been kind of all over the place here. We're going to be doing the broadcast, and just give a general layout for people. How many days is the competition? How many workouts is the stream going to be for specific divisions, all divisions? What should people be expecting if they want to tune in and watch?
Yeah. Hey, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're going to have 2 streams. So 2 streams going simultaneously. One stream is going to be focused on the rig floor. That's going to be the Chili Goat floor. Chili Goat is our naming sponsor, our title sponsor. They're absolutely awesome. Speaking of product placement, you need to go and look up Chili Goat. They're called Goat because they worked with Michael Phelps to help to design their tub. It's the best tub on the market. And Brian, if you're sponsored by another cold tub, I'm sorry. They're unbelievable. And so they're bringing 6. I put it up on Instagram today. They're bringing 6 cold tubs. Wait, where's the fingers? There we go. 6. That's going to be awesome that they're there for the recovery area. But
they were there last year. Was last year their first year being there?
That was their first year there. Yeah, absolutely. And they had 2 cold tubs. And like the way that they're so here's the deal with them and Michael Phelps is they had to create something that kind of held to the standard of the workload that Phelps put in. And so the way that they constructed their motor is actually what is so impressive with their cold tub, because like it'll be there all day. There will literally be people in it all day, and it will stay cold the whole time. Anyway, sorry. So
no, last year at MFC was the first time I saw them. They're very well made. That is for sure.
Did you get in one last year?
No, but this year maybe, since I'm doing a harder workout, I'll have to do it.
And we may do the post workout. We may do the post workout interview in the cold tub. Okay. You, not me. I don't get in cold tubs. So anyway, sorry. Chili Goat floor. It's the floor with the rig. We've got the grandstands around it. That's where the commentary is going to be. So you're going to hear me and Brian. You're going to hear some guests. And that's going to be all weekend long. The commentary will be there. We have a side floor. And that's the Virus side floor. Virus is providing all of our clothing. So the Virus floor is going to have, you're going to hear the MCs. You're not going to have commentary with that. And so you'll have those. Obviously no rig in those workouts, but going to be really exciting on those workouts. Some of them are a little bit quicker, be a lot of fun to kind of have an opportunity to watch those. And so we're doing all divisions. The cameras will stay on. We will be doing those. We'll be cutting in and out at times just between breaks. But we
hop in the tubs.
To hop in the tubs, because again, part of it is that we're not just trying to give that experience for like that top echelon. Like this is literally for everybody. Like if you have never really had a chance to compete at this level and you qualify as the last person in RX at whatever age it is, like you're still going to get a bunch of Virus stuff. You're still going to get the Rad shoes. Rad is providing all of our athletes and all of our 3-day volunteers with shoes. Like so we want them to have that opportunity, because let's face it, man. I mean, everybody.
Is this the best picture of Bella you could find? Come on.
No, but but here's the deal: it was a picture of her from the games. And so, I was so excited for Bella, and I know you were too. Everybody
can't argue with that. I mean, all they found was you as a college shirt on, and I'm here from a semifinal 3 years ago.
Hey,
he's moving up. We're moving down,
dude. I love how you use they like it was someone else other than me that was putting that graphic together. I know it's so funny. Like MFC, they are so good to me, and they appreciate what I do. I always look at this. I look at this stuff, and I just go, man, when are they going to fire me?
No, I don't think so. But Bella will be joining us. She's been there in the past. She'll be doing some MC. She'll be doing some interviews as part of the broadcast, and obviously she's become, relative mainstay in terms of doing that. So very cool to be working with her.
And the cool thing, and Bella will say this, but I want to brag on Bella for a minute, because one of the things about Bella and the Masters is that she really genuinely loves the Masters divisions. Like she really appreciates it for what it is. And she comes out and does this every year. I mean, because let's face it, dude, she was at the games. She is always doing everything. She could have done whatever she wanted, but this is kind of one of the things that she says she does regularly, because she really wants to make sure that she's giving the Masters the type of experience that they genuinely deserve. So a lot of fun with that.
And how many years has she been at MFC? This is at least the third.
At least the third year. Yeah. If I wasn't able to be up here in 21. So if she was here in 21, it'll be 4 years. But right now it's at least 3.
Yeah, and she's pretty loyal to the competitions that she works at. You see her at a lot of the same ones year after year, and she's one of the best when it comes to preparation. And she takes very seriously, like you talked about, representing all of the athletes in all the divisions really well. She did the pit team throwdown this year again, for at least the second time, maybe the third time. And she's, she has a good, she's very good at kind of distributing the wealth across all of the parts of the CrossFit community.
Mm-hmm. And just one of the sweethearts of the CrossFit world too.
Excuse me. So yeah, if you want to watch the stream, 3 full days, one of them will have the commentary, one of them will not. It'll just have the MCs there, kind of like light coverage is what we call that usually, and therefore everyone has an opportunity to watch whoever they want to watch. All the athletes will have some of that coverage. Have you? I know you and I talked about it last week. Have you actually lined up any guests yet, or is that just a phantom?
Oh no, there are. So it's really funny. Is I was trying not to be too overt about it because, when people start finding out that you're actually looking for people, oh, dude, everybody comes out of the woodwork. But no, man, obviously, okay. So anybody who's listening to the MFC podcast, we're obviously going to have Ron around, and the problem with having Ron around and me around is that guys who don't talk that much, like Brian, just decide that they're going to sit back and not have to do anything for the next hour and a half. So, but no, man, Ron's gonna be around. We're gonna get Lon Allen up there. If I can get Jen Ryan up there, now immediately, if I get Jen Ryan up there, we may have to have what is what's the button that you hit? I think what they call it, like a cough button or something. But we have to hit the cough button if she gets too fired up. Jen will let you know about it. But I love Jen. She's amazing.
She's just going on a rant. You just reach over and say, anyway, lane 5.
Rick Stevenson's going to join us. Rick and Jason Grubb do, they do a podcast together. And Rick's going to be a team competitor this year. And he's just an awesome guy. So, oh yeah, man, lots of good people coming up for you, dude.
Sweet. It should be fun. It's nice to have that, kind of change of pace, especially when we're doing like day-long broadcasts, insert some new energy, some new blood, some different perspectives. So able to get some athletes would be great, and maybe some surprises in there too. Who knows?
No, it's nothing but surprises, to be honest with you. And here's Brian's laughing because Brian knows me well enough. For those of you who don't know me, which I think is probably all of you, it's always a surprise. Like this is. I want you to picture something. So I want you to think about Sean Woodland and how good Sean Woodland is, and how steady he is, and how his voice just sounds like a warm blanket. Okay. I am the opposite of Sean Woodland. Okay. So whatever you have pictured of Sean Woodland, the other side of that is me. And so I am really, it's funny. I'm kind of I'm more of a hype man than anything else. I'm just going to be excited, having fun. We're going to be bringing people onto the broadcast. We're going to be talking about all kinds of great stuff. I learned some really good defense tactics if a bear were to attack you, depending on what type of bear. We may talk about that this weekend.
You learned that on the plane today from that one?
I learned that on the plane. Yeah, absolutely. So, because Claire, the lady I was sitting next to, when she was going out there, she took this, I don't know, this wilderness defense class. And so she learned that with a black bear, because black bears are usually smaller, that you make yourself big, because when they stand on their back legs, they're between 5 and 7 feet tall. I was like, dude,
so you've been prepping for this for a couple of years, actually.
Dude, hey, here's the deal: is I am effectively a hibernating black bear myself right now, and so yeah, dude, I've been prepping for this for several years now.
I mean, that's excellent. Next time I'm going on a hike in black bear territory, I'm calling you up,
dude. Absolutely. Well, so I've been preparing for a lot of things for several years. Anytime, these competitions are always awesome, especially master competitions, because it's like a big family reunion. You see all these people that you just absolutely love. And so with me, there's always a bunch of hugs. So I told all my friends that over the last 2 years, I've really done the best job that I could, because all my friends that show up, they're big and bulky and muscular, and they got these gigantic, shoulders and pecs. I was like, here's the deal. Anytime I would hug you guys and I didn't have a lot of cushion, I felt like there was friction, like we were going to start a fire. I was like, so what I did is I decided to put on as much cushion as I could over the course of 2 years. So that way, when I hugged them, I just kind of absorbed them rather than them
it's
hitting
a selfless act.
It really is. It really is, So, I mean, those burgers and the pizza and the tacos, it was more because I was thinking about other people.
Your friends and family. Yeah.
Man,
especially the ones you don't see that often.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Well, problem with you, we've got to get you some food in your system. Like, you look like you're wasting away to death over here, Brian.
What if I told you I'm 40 pounds heavier than I was when I started CrossFit?
Then I would say that you were probably 40 pounds too light when you started CrossFit.
Or 50, maybe. Still working my way up. Oh man. You're not involved with the programming at all.
Nope, not involved with the programming. And nobody wants that. Anytime I've ever tried to program for myself, those people that they program a workout and it's just like the world's worst workout. Like, you're halfway through it going, this is the stupidest thing anyone's ever done in their life. That's like back in the day when I thought I was going to own a CrossFit gym or go to the games or whatever it was, I was like, oh dude, I'm gonna start programming. Oh, it was the most atrocious thing you've ever seen. So I do my best to stay in my lane with the programming.
this workout to me, Hail Mary Part 1 and 2. By the way, the whole competition, all the workouts are based on NFL theme. I don't know where that came about.
Well, football themed. It's not NFL themed.
Well,
yeah.
I'm partial to NFL over college football. I'm letting my biases show.
Well, and I get that. That's okay. I don't know where the football. You got me saying NFL now. I don't know where the football theme came from. Admittedly, if they didn't let me name it, you know what I would love is if they would just make the workouts and let me name the workouts for the competition. Oh, dude, could you imagine? Oh, dude, it would. That would be great. Go with a bear theme. Oh, that'd be amazing, man.
Still put double doink.
That's right, man.
But this workout to me looks like a play on a semifinal workout from not this season, but the previous season where they had the snatch, run, snatch, which was for the elite division, obviously. So that's kind of cool. And I don't actually know who did the programming this year. In the past, it's been Invictus and CJ Martin, but I don't know if that was the case this year.
It's still been Invictus, and actually got the Invictus got their master's programmers involved in trying to make sure.
So you're telling that Jen Ryan shouldn't really be allowed to compete.
Hey man, here's the deal. Listen, and this is not a secret. Ain't no money in this competition. And so Jen is in the women's. Listen, first off, you and I both know Jen Ryan and Heather Hippensteel. It doesn't matter what division they're in; they're probably going to win it anyway.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Oh yeah. So no, it was they got involved just trying to make sure that it's scaling as it goes throughout the ages and throughout the different levels, just trying to make sure that that's on the nose and that way there's not anything kind of in the middle. Cause I think in the past, Invictus has done it, but MFC was kind of responsible for scaling it down. So they're just trying to make sure that they're,
this is actually, I think is a good topic of conversation for Masters competitions and programming in general, because the CrossFit Games historically has 35 to 54 doing the same thing throughout the whole season. And then they have 55 plus where they start to make some tapering off of the weights, the skills, etc. I have thought that the Masters community has evolved to a point where there needs to be more nuance instead of just these like two distinct groups, but it's not necessarily for everything. So there's definitely some things that having the 30 to 54, like you see here on the screen, or 35 to 54 in the case of the game season, is okay. And there's other things where I think you need to taper it off earlier. These might be high skill gymnastics movements. It could be weightlifting. It could be volume of reps, even though the weights are the same. And I remember this conversation taking place in MFC last year about the programming and wanting to kind of dial that in a little bit more to make sure that not just as a group, but for each workout, there was actually, a thoughtful process behind what do we want them to do and why do we want them to do it.
Well, because I remember specifically you and we talked about it during the deadlift workout last year. So they did it was rowing, deadlifts, rope climb, and handstand walk. Really, it was in the division you and I were watching. It was a 2-person race. It was Jason Grubb and oh man, hang on, where's it at? I can't remember his name now. He did great. He was at the games this year too. He was doing good last year and then hurt his shoulder. Hang on, Brigham Abbott. Jason Grubb and Brigham Abbott. And but they were really the only two that could really get far enough to actually make it into the handstand walk. And I think it is, when you start looking at that, because really what you're wanting is you're wanting the stimulus for the 30-year-olds to be the same as the stimulus for the 45-year-olds. But I mean, the fact that MFC includes the 30-year-olds means that, let's face it, I remember being 30. I could do a lot more than I can do now at 40. So
yeah, and that's another nuance of the Masters Fitness Championship is they have this 30 to 34 division. The champion there last year was Malachi Bennett on the men's side, and he's been kind of a mainstay in the Reps Ahead season that we've been doing this year. It's the only competition that I know of that has a 30 to 34 division.
Yeah, just trying, and again, it's just trying to still be inclusive. And because hey, now, all right, ready? So I'm pulling for Steve. Here's what I'm pulling
James
for Steve.
East I know James East too.
So, okay, here's the deal. in 2000 and it was either 18 or 19. I went and did a team at Granite Games. All right, an intermediate team. We won, by the way. We qualified in dead last. Like, we didn't think we were going to qualify, and we wound up qualifying through backfill, and we won. All right, and
opposite of Bill Lloyd.
Yeah, this was this was skinny Kyle days. All right, I ate that guy. But I met Steve Christini when I was up there, and we just talked. I mean, it wasn't like we became the best of friends, but I remember Steve Christini from those days. So I'm pulling for you, Steve. Come on, baby, my Canadian buddy.
I like that there's that 30 to 34 division, and there are. Let's see if I can find the women's as well. Here it is. You'll see, people who are really clued in or follow along. Katie Callior is the first name, and then Lindsay Derby is the other that really jumps off the page to me here as the kind of likely favorites. I don't know all of the other women in here, but
I mean, Danielle Oliveri, she qualified in first, and she's got a pretty extensive background in competition as well. Her and Katie Callior are friends, and so I got to tell you, that's if you told me that was going to be 1, 2, 3 in any order, I wouldn't argue with you.
No, but I'm sure that there are also a couple of women in here that we maybe don't know as well that will surprise or stand out. It's just always the case where you never know how old people are when they stumble into a CrossFit gym or upon a CrossFit competition. And why couldn't you have someone who's a very athletic, former collegiate athlete, has some weightlifting background, that's 27, 8, 9-year-old woman that walks into a gym, and she's never going to be good enough to make the games at this point. But she could certainly within 2 years be good enough to throw her name into a 30 to 30. Hey, there's a 30 to 34 at this competition. Let me try the qualifier. Oh, I'm actually really good at this. Boom, I beat these people. So that can always happen. And then that's, it's similar to the Pit Team Throwdown introducing the collegiate division. It just gives this little bit of a transition stage of an opportunity for people to compete against their peers. I mean, there are certainly athletes out there, we know them, that are 30 to 34 years old and can still compete at the top end of the sport. But it's far more likely that if you had a chance, it was when you were 25 to 29, and that by the time you're in your 30s, that window's passed you by, and there's just not that many opportunities for a very specific group of athletes to compete. So I love that MFC offers this division.
Oh yeah, and it's been a fun division to watch, man. It's incredibly competitive, and kind of a fun division. It usually ends the day with the men and the women, and boy, it's always fireworks at the end of the day.
And then on the other side of things, what's the oldest? It's 65 plus.
Well, I don't think so. Here's the deal: you talked about one of the there are some 65 plus, but actually some of the older divisions were actually the ones that took a hit. More so than the younger divisions, with the games just being a month ago, which makes sense. Typically what you see at the older divisions is there's not as many people competing, and usually at the bigger events, you'll see the same ones kind of rotating through. And when you have one just a month apart, it kind of makes it tough.
I got Jim Pieper here. He's no joke.
No, Jim is no joke. And I gotta throw out a shout out to my man Bruce McLaughlin. All right, Bruce No Sleeves McLaughlin. That dude he's always showing the guns, and I love it. Every time that I see that guy, we take a flexing picture. And so it's that dude. He wants to take bicep pictures, and I love it.
I mean, there's an RX division for these 65 plus as well, and so like I was saying earlier, even these are probably people who are, getting involved in CrossFit later on in life, still have an outlet to compete. And like we said earlier, close to 40 divisions here. As far as the Masters competition is concerned, you're not going to find a one that really has a more. One sec.
It's a sneeze. Bless you, dude.
More opportunities across the board for people 30 to 70 years old that want to compete.
Yeah, so on the screen there, Joanna Tunnicliffe. So that's the mother of Anna Tunnicliffe. And so last year I kept a tally. Joanna Tunnicliffe won the Battle of the Tunnicliffes because Joanna swept her division, all first place on the podium. Anna took 1 second place. So by tiebreaker standards, Joanna Tunnicliffe is the more fit Tunnicliffe
relative to her division. Anna Tunnicliffe, Anna Tobias, depending on stages of her career, former Olympian for sailing and also CrossFit Games athlete individually, and she was there last year, like you said. That is cool. You do see at these Masters competitions every once in a while a mother or father of an athlete that you'll know from kind of elite level competition. So I'm sure there's
Annika Greer's mom is back this year, Leanne Greer. She's in the 55 to 59, and Leanne won it last year.
She in the elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember watching that last year and talking to her actually a little bit. Oh, these are teams.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about a division that I'm excited to watch. The 55 to 59. I'm all in for the 55 to 59 elite women. Okay. So you got Leanne Greer. Do me a favor. Go down there. Click on Ulrika Curtin. There you go, buddy. Take a look at her. Okay. So qualifies in first, but just scroll down and take a look at everything that she has done and been in and won. I mean, that's not any list of competitions there. So
European CrossFit Masters champion 2022, first place. 2022 Madrid champion, first place. 2023 Tier Wadapalooza Miami, second place. Oslo Throwdown 2023, third place. 2023 Madrid, fourth place.
Yeah.
Those are all live competitions that she's been in the top 4 of in the past couple of years. She's out of Finland, and this is a seriously impressive resume.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, so in that division, Kristen Johnson. So here's the thing about Kristen Johnson. So Kristen, she qualifies in 15th. She's not when it comes to qualifiers, she doesn't just blow them away. But when you look at all the things that she does, where she has a qualifier followed by in person is always better.
2021 Legends qualifies 20th, finished first. Fittest Experience qualifies 4th, finished first. Trying to see if there's any others like this. Yeah, Legends qualifiers not great, but when she gets in person, it looks like she's a beast.
So last year she tied for 3rd. And so it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and see if Kristen is kind of one of those athletes that the better the competition is in the lanes around her, the better she does. Because I'll tell you what, if you put her near Leanne Greer and Ulrika Curtin, boy, hey, this could be a bloodbath.
Okay, I'm gonna bet my British pounds on the Finn.
I'm not gonna not take that as the problem. Like, that's like the odds are, I gotta tell you, the odds are, boy, heavily in Ulrika's favor right now. Don't get me wrong. Big Leanne Greer fan. But oh boy, I'm having a hard time not looking at. I think right now my question is, I want to see the type of, I've never seen her in person. I want to see the type of athlete that Curtin is. And I want to see, is she the type of athlete that is just super duper consistent, or is she the type of athlete that just dominates everything all the time?
There has been swimming a lot of years at the MFC, correct?
Yes, there has. There's been swimming every year at the MFC.
And this year?
No swimming this year.
No swimming this year. So I like that actually, and not having to do with anything games related. I just like keeping it unknown. You know, if they come to expect it, then you pull it away. And then when they're like, oh shoot, I don't know if there's gonna be swimming or not. And then maybe next year you have it, maybe you don't. And you don't know.
Well, and I'll say this, it's an interesting point too with the swimming, because there's a couple of things that happened that I think made, because the decision for swimming was made a long time ago, from my understanding, or for not swimming, and part of it is just the logistics of it, because with Legends and MFC being so close together, excuse me, not Legends, with the games and MFC being so close together, it was pretty well known that volunteers were going to be tough to get. And so, you know, when you have another competition site that's completely off-site, that really puts a drain on volunteers. So logistically, but also, I think there were some safety concerns, not because of anything that happened on the pool last year, but I think just the more that you really start looking at it and you start saying, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 55-year-olds in the pool, and we're going to do sprint workouts in the pool. You know, and that's not putting anybody down, but I think if you take the average of the 55-year-olds and the 50-year-olds in the competition, most of them are not well-trained swimmers. And so you either put someone in a position where maybe it's a little bit dangerous, or quite frankly, you put them in a position where you've got 6 workouts on the weekend, and one of them, they just got to kind of cash in because, I got a full-time job and I got grandkids to go play sports. So I can't swim 3 days a week.
I appreciate the explanation. That's good perspective to have. I mean, I think the big picture takeaway on that is decisions like this aren't made haphazardly. There's a lot of thought that goes into them, whether you choose to have it or not, whatever it is. And I do like, for competitions that are existing year after year, you do have some similar athletes that compete every year. So to have some nuances that are a little different each year makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's like this year, bringing in, because they're bringing back running. 2 years ago there was, 2 years ago there was running. Last year there wasn't like a out and back type of run. There was the shuttle runs, but here they've got the 2 600-meter runs. So, just a little bit of, a little bit of a change for something that I think will be just as good.
I like some running. Fortunately, it's followed with some heavy lifting.
Skinny little child. Like, here's the deal. This is the problem. I love that workout. So I didn't start when I was competing. I was like I wasn't even the little guy, but I was the weak guy, like my positioning was horrible. And so like, I was always naturally strong, but I wasn't like, so you want to do a deadlift? I'm going to win it. You want to do a clean, and for some reason I would win the deadlift and I wouldn't even get close in the clean, in the snatch. If anybody's ever seen any of the videos posted, so there's a video of 2020. I snatched 225 at MFC and I lose my mind. I'm like running around, like jumping on people, hugging people, and everybody's
I think people who are meeting it for the first time are really having a hard time imagining that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. And so, but like because that was such a goal of mine. 225 and 315 were always goals of mine. I just hit 315, in the qualification for the TFX teams. We just did a intermediate team at TFX last year. So I hit 315 in that, and then so get this, I hit 315 in the qualifiers and like hit it. And like, it was like the type where like my hand like came flying off. So I've got one hand like this and one hand like this. And then we do a clean and 2 jerks. And I hit 330 for a clean and a jerk, and then slipped trying to get the next jerk back up. I was like, how does this work? Now, admittedly, mass moves mass. I've put on plenty of mass lately. And so, but that's anyway. So I hit 25 snatch, and I'm like running around, like jumping on everybody, because I was never the big strong guy. Now all of a sudden, I'm lifting all kinds of weight, but the 600-meter run, I would have to take a water break in the middle of it. So, like, I'd be looking for the water station. It's like just out around a cone and back. I'd be like, "Where's the water station at?" My goodness,
like, bro, it's not a half marathon.
Dude, where are you at? Where are you at? And what is the little trophy in the background?
I'm at my apartment for less than a week more. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this trophy, Kyle, is
all the marbles. It's for all the marbles. Hey, well done, sir. Well done.
And there's a little joke about this trophy. It's a group of friends of mine from the Chicago area. We play a board game called 7 Wonders whenever we get together, and the winner gets all the marbles. And over the years that we've been playing, they pretty much sabotage me so that I can never win. They call it chouse, which is chaos pronounced incorrectly. So that they just play in these unpredictable fashions so that I can't win, because they all live in the same like block basically, and they want the trophy to stay on the block. But the last time I was up there, I won it and I brought it back. The rule is if you win it, that you have to incorporate it somehow sneakily into a social media post, or in this case, a podcast. And it's been there for a while and no one's asked about it. So that was perfect.
Well, that's what happens when you bring an ADHD child onto your podcast. Is they're just looking at everything all at once. Now, but I do have a question for you, Brian. This is turning into let's interview Brian. So are you telling me that there is a conspiracy amongst your friends in a board game to prevent you from winning? Like, admittedly, that
not
just
one board game.
It sounds more like you're a sore loser than anything else, is what it sounds like. You're the kid that's just like, you guys never let me win. You're cheating. You're all against me.
Should we call him up?
Dude, I would love to hear this.
They are No, you know, the thing is, like, I'm really good at these board games, and I taught them how to play. So I think that they thought originally that I had an inherent advantage, and some of them, they're better than they give themselves credit for, but they will kind of be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just thought this was to be the best play, and I'm like, yeah, perfect. Like you just play those cards so that neither one of us has a chance to win. Now your wife's gonna win again. But it's great. We always have a good time.
It's killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me because you still are holding on to this fact that, like, you're still better than they are, and you would win if they would just play the game right.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is everyone can play the game the way that they want to, and so I have to then combat the chouse.
The chouse. I like it. I like it. Well, speaking of chouse, get ready for 3 days of chouse. I'm so unbelievably excited. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell or not. I know I'm pretty low key. I'm incredibly excited about the chouse that is to follow.
Yeah, because last year I was streaming some of the divisions on my own. We did some kind of after the fact things together. This is going to be a totally different experience for us. We actually get to spend time together, which is great news for one of us, and the other one of us. The other one of us is going to continue to get the lesson that he's needed for his whole life, which is, patience.
See, there is a meme of SpongeBob and Patrick the Starfish. And it's Patrick, and he's sitting there, and he looks like, he kind of looks nervous and anxious. And Patrick just has the big dumb look on his face, and he's got his arm around SpongeBob. And the meme, it says, introverts don't make friends; they're just adopted by extroverts. Now, here's the deal: is I've just adopted Brian. Now, he's not a full-on introvert, but he's quiet. So I've just adopted Brian, and so what you're going to hear this weekend is me just constantly, forcing Brian into situations that, for me, it's just hilarious and funny, and he's just going to be like, I can't believe that Kyle is doing this.
You sure it's Patrick?
Is it not Patrick? Or is it the other way around? I thought it was Patrick.
Isn't it this guy on the right?
The starfish? No, because in this one, in the one I'm talking about, SpongeBob is the one that's the introvert, which I know that doesn't follow the show very well. I get it. I get it.
All right, well, whatever. I tried in my producer role. Usually I have Patrick here that bails me out on these situations. We'll get that
here we go. How bad are you at this? All right, here, I'm going to text this to you.
You found it?
Yeah, I found it, like, immediately.
What did you type in? Favorites?
Favorites? Did you say favorites? Oh, no. I just sent it to you. Did you get it?
I see it. Yeah. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What the hell did I just do? I messed it up, of course. I blew it up to it. All right, let's see. Now I can go over here. Present. Bear with us. I don't even see it on this options.
Dude, listen, Brian, if anyone is still watching, they're here till the end, buddy. Like, they're not going anywhere until you end this stream. So no need to say bear with us.
I mean, some people, they might have joined in here and they're like, who the heck is this guy? And an hour later, they're like, oh, I'm still listening.
You know what? I get that a lot. Is people are like, I don't really know who this guy is, but, well, I've got nothing better to do, so I'll sit here and listen to him. He's kind of entertaining. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Kyle Shipp. I'm the broadcaster for Masters Fitness Championship, happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Brian's going to be able to pull it up.
You're not? Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
Not in the format that I wanted.
If you just go to Google and type in "introverts don't make friends, they get adopted," you'll be able to see the meme that I'm talking about. So.
Oh, that's all I had to do?
That's all you had to do.
The way that you were sharing it with me, It was pulling it up as a text message only, and
Oh, that's weird.
I didn't want to open that entire screen.
Yeah.
There he is. That's us this weekend.
That's us. That's us. That's Kyle as Patrick the Starfish and Brian as SpongeBob SquarePants.
And if you spent the whole hour with us, you don't have to. We don't have to convince you of it. You know.
No, not at all. Hey, admittedly, I don't know if it'll show up on the MFC page or if it'll just show up on mine and you'll get tagged in it. There's probably going to be an edit of that meme that I pull up at some point this weekend.
I think at this point, everyone's expecting it.
It would have to be. Yeah. And people are probably going to be disappointed if they don't get it.
Look at how this is going in the chat. How's your family and gardening? Still getting cherry tomatoes and cucumbers. This is how entertained they are by us, Kyle.
Hey, we're just creating community. That's the deal. Like, people in the chat are building community. All right. That's what we're going for, man. MFC is all about community.
These two people should be competing at MFC this weekend. That's what I have to say to them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
How are things on your end? They're not even listening to us. We're talking about them.
That's fantastic. I love it. It's and admittedly, as much fun as I'm having, I'm sure the massive numbers that this podcast is going to draw in for Brian ensure that you will never hear from me again. So if any of you want to come and follow me on Instagram, it'll be the only time that you hear from me.
Yeah, here's his riveting Instagram page.
Yeah, absolutely. With my my picture from 2020. That was actually, so that was at Strength and Depth. So I went to Strength and Depth. That was at Strength and Depth. So
we were there together.
Oh, you were there? No way.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
So, I was at both of the Strength and Depth sanctionals working.
Nice.
That year I was a little bit more focused on people like Matt Fraser and Haley Adams than on Kyle Shipp. Sorry.
Why? They were boring. They were going to win. I was too busy falling on my head during handstand walks. Why weren't you following me, dude? Oh, man. Yeah, like when I say,
I think I might have actually taken some time to go watch Masters athlete Kelly Friel.
Again, boring. She's just going to win. Of course she's going to win.
She is going to win. She's insane.
Hey, I was in my division. In my division was actually a couple of guys that were in the games this year, and the winner was James Saint. I never know if it's Ledger or Leger. Yeah, or Leger. See, I was gonna go French and go Leger. But he's so unbelievably. Yeah, he's so unbelievably good. Like it's ridiculous how good he is. And so I actually qualified. Dude, I qualified second that year, and I go over there. And this was back when I was taking CrossFit a little bit more seriously. And so I was like, oh yeah, it's me and James. Like, we're head to head, right? Dude, Did
you beat him on a single workout?
No, I didn't beat him on a single workout. I got demolished.
Oh, I didn't know if there was a 1-rep max deadlift. I mean, you said you would win that.
No, there wasn't. No, it was a stupid hang snatch. So here I am, hang snatching 215. That's like everybody else's like starting weight. Like, oh my gosh. No, I took admittedly, I pushed him. There was Dumbbell Fran. Dumbbell Fran, I almost beat him on. He beat me by just, I think, seconds. He took first, I took second.
It's short enough that you couldn't get out of breath.
Oh, dude. No, that was when I didn't get out of breath. That was, and here's the deal. Anything on the pull-up bar used to be my jam. And so now, forget it. But, oh yeah, that was, here's the deal I don't know, I either got COVID.
Now the pull-up bar you use, it's like those guys that pretend they're dunking on a 6-foot hoop.
Oh yeah,
still on the ground.
It's the one, like, it's just right at my forehead. So I just have to go up to my toes. It's like, tiptoes, piece of cake, and it's always a low angle camera looking up. Yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Butterfly pull-ups with the toes on the ground. Unbeatable.
That's right. No, I either had COVID, because that was back when like COVID was just starting. So I either was like the first American to get COVID, or I had the world's worst jet lag, because we're doing a workout where it was a salt bike, it was wall balls and toe to bar. And so I do the salt bike and I go and I get off. I go to the toe to bar. First off, I went too hard on the assault bike because I was in third coming out of day one. So I was like, oh yeah, moving day, time to make a move. Yeah, moron. So I go too hard on the assault bike. I go start doing the wall ball. The rig, though, I don't know if you remember this or not, the rig it swayed horribly. And so the first round, it's fine. Wall balls, toe to bar. But then when everybody gets off and I get a little bit behind, when the guys were on their toe to bar, and I was on the wall ball, they'd get to swinging and I'd throw it up and it would hit. But because the rig was swinging forward, it would literally throw the wall ball behind me. Literally, like we're not talking about on top of my head, like behind me. And so it was like, what am I supposed to do? And then I'd go and I'd do it again. I'd throw the wall ball up and it would swing backwards and it would just woo straight down. Wouldn't even touch it. I was like, oh, okay, this is how this is going to go. Yeah. That was a bad workout.
You're the only person that had that problem.
It's because I was the only person who was that far behind. Everybody was on the totem bar already.
Look at this. Don't say that.
First American with COVID isn't a good title.
I actually beat you to it that year, though, and I wasn't the first either. I think so. I think I picked it up in Dubai. There were people there who had been at Panda Land in China a week before.
Oh my God.
And then came there, and I got so sick on the plane back from Dubai that year. 5 days straight, laid out on the bed. It was the first time in my life and the first time for years afterwards that I ever ordered Uber Eats. I couldn't do anything. But,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Kyle, this was super fun. I definitely got my laughing quota in for the day. I think I'm going to get it in for the month over the course of the weekend.
Dude,
so if you're looking for a super serious, professional, to the point, every single second of the competition, try somewhere else. If you want to have a great time hanging out, celebrating the Masters community, and telling some compelling storylines about world-class athletes, Kyle and I will be on the mic Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Bella will be there bringing us stories from the floor. We're going to have a good time on site, and we hope to share some of that with you guys online. Kyle, man, thank you for taking this time. This was super fun. I didn't know it would go this long, but, it's easy to talk to you. Fun stories like that go a long way, and good to keep just a lighthearted mood in the midst of, people always going through stuff. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks, dude.
All right. We will see you. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see everybody else on the stream on Friday.
Later, guys.
Kyle Shipp, the media director for MFC, and he'll be on the broadcast with me this weekend. Appreciate him taking the time. I got a flight out less than 12 hours from now, so I'm gonna wrap it up, pack it up, and hit the road again tomorrow for my third Masters Fitness Championship weekend. Should be a pretty fun one. Lynn, yeah, we know you'll be there. One of the best supporters. Thank you to HCR CBD and Strike Movement for continuing to support all the B.Friendly fitness coverage this year. Appreciate you guys who are with us. Hope those that have joined late enjoyed the conversation, got some laughs in, and maybe you guys will be motivated to not just check out what we're doing, but hit one of the MFC workouts this weekend as well. I'll try to do one of them, and we'll get maybe some coverage of that for you guys to enjoy. But we'll see you guys from Indianapolis, and as always, be friendly, our friends.